Plato's Republic is a philosophical masterpiece. It is an ocean full of philosophical questions, speculations, analogies, and arguments. It is a text with a surface, and under the surface, there's quite a lot. But it's very rewarding still for those who merely navigate the surface, no less rewarding than it is for those who dive under the surface of the text to explore the deeper mysteries. Now, to summarize the Republic, or to explain it in a single short video, is nothing short of preposterous, so I'm not even going to try. Instead, here are a few pointers on the text, things to keep in mind, things to look for while reading it. The first big question in the book is, what is justice? This question is introduced in Book 1 of the Republic. There are 10 books in the Republic. The main question in the book, however, is justice worth it? Isn't it better to look out for ourselves and ignore our obligations to others? Won't we be happier if we act selfishly and ignore the requirements of justice? This challenge to justice is made by Glaucon and Adeimantus in Book 2 of the Republic. And Socrates, the main character, spends pretty much the rest of the book answering this challenge in dialogue with Glaucon and Adeimantus. His answer is yes, justice is worth it. Gregory Vlastos has summarized the Republic in 2 words: justice pays. That is, justice pays off. Justice is worth it. Justice has benefits. The main argument for this conclusion occupies approximately books 2 through 9 of the Republic, and the argument relies on a certain account of the nature of the soul. It is helpful, and it is very Platonic, to make an analogy to the body. The body has different parts, and health is achieved only when the different parts of the body do their own work and contribute together for the good of the whole. This is a necessary requirement for physical health, and there is such a thing as spiritual health or psychological health. The soul also has a nature or a proper function, and it also has parts. At least this is what Socrates tells us. There are parts of the soul. There are 3 of them. The first part of the soul is the rational part of the soul. It's the part of the soul that desires wisdom. The appetitive part of the soul, the next part to mention, is the part of the soul that desires physical things, especially physical pleasures like food, drink, and sex. In between them, though, is a third part of the soul. This is the part of the soul that decides between the two. When we're torn between the appetitive and the rational, it is the spirited part of the soul in between that decides which way we follow. That spirited part of the soul is given the name thumos. It's the part of the soul that desires honor, or that gives honor to something. And it is also called, what I just called it, the spirited part of the soul. Now, spiritual health is achieved when the parts of the soul are doing their own jobs and are ordered or arranged properly. And the proper arrangement of the soul involves the rational part of the soul making an alliance with the spirited part of the soul in order to keep the appetitive part of the soul in line, to keep it obedient to the instructions of wisdom. The rational part of the soul makes an alliance with the spirited part of the soul in order to keep the appetitive part of the soul from rebelling against reason. Now, C.S. Lewis did something almost as good as what Vlastos did. He summarized the Republic in 8 words. The head rules the belly through the chest. Here he's employing a medieval metaphor. The rational part of the soul is the head, and it rules the appetitive part, the belly, by means of its alliance with the spirited part, the chest. Now, what does this have to do with justice? Well, very much. It shows that there is such a thing as justice in the soul. Justice is not simply a thing that happens when we treat others properly. There is such a thing as justice written in the soul itself. A just soul is one in which the parts of the soul are doing their own work and are in the proper order, contributing to the good of the whole in the proper way, working together and in the proper arrangement, with reason or the rational part of the soul in charge and the spirited part of the soul giving honor to reason. That is a properly functioning soul. That is a just soul. And the insight that justice can exist within the soul is what shows that justice is worth it. Because justice being in the soul's functioning properly is a necessary condition for happiness, just as the body's functioning properly is a necessary condition for happiness. Now, if we act unjustly, we will find that justice is not in our souls, and accordingly, that we are not functioning properly. We have 6 souls, and we cannot be happy with 6 souls. And the entire explanation of the soul as having these three parts is developed through the very complex analogy to the city. The city is compared to the soul, and the city has three classes corresponding to these three parts of the soul. One of the great mysteries of the Republic is how exactly we should interpret this city. And there is quite a bit more to the Republic. There is the account of how the city comes into being in books 2 and 3. There is the explanation of the four cardinal virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and moderation, and of how they relate to the three parts of the soul and of the city in book 4. In book 6, we have the analogy of the sun. In book 7, we have the cave analogy and the account of a liberal arts education. In book 8, we have the wonderful tale of how a republic dies, or the tragic tale, but wonderfully told. In book 9, we have a direct look at injustice and the conclusive argument that it is utterly incompatible with happiness, that injustice is utterly incompatible with happiness. And in book 10, we have the myth of Ur, and a second argument that justice is worth it. The mystery to which I alluded a few moments ago, and these other topics of the Republic, I now commit to you, who I hope are or will be a reader of the Republic.